now. It's nice. Okay, so why don't we start with Judy? Why don't you do your 3-minute opening?
Sure. Hello, everyone. Thank you for attending the forum today. It's so nice to see all of you. My name is Judy Suh, and I am a non-classroom faculty in the Student Personnel Services Department. I have worked as a counselor for the past 19 years and have been involved in various leadership positions in committees and organizations. So let me tell you why I'm running. I am running because I am very concerned about our continuous losses and what this all means for our future. Over the years, we have lost 1/3 of our faculty. Our resources are shrinking, but our workload is increasing. There's been an increasing micromanagement of faculty. To name a few, non-classroom faculty are required to fill out weekly time logs. All faculty are spending countless hours emailing, reaching out to students, and setting up courses. Many of us are working outside of our contractual obligations. We have lost release time, valuable programs, which decrease student retention. Decreasing student retention means continuous financial loss for the college. These issues all undermine us as professionals, and we need to regain our faculty voice. Unfortunately, these losses have occurred under our current union leadership. I am running because I think we can do better. I am very optimistic that we can improve on working conditions and strengthen our contract with the new approach. I have some ideas. First, I will address these losses being accountable to you. You are the NCCFT members. I will meet with individual departments. I will meet with members to understand their challenges, and together we'll work out a plan of action. I will be transparent, have an open door policy. I will communicate and meet with members regularly. It will not be 2 times a year. I will not turn you away or tell you to look up the contract. I will listen and be fair. I will get results by replacing lines, advocating for adequate resources and reasonable workloads and class size. I will enforce the contract when contractual obligations are overstepped. We can do this by assessing resource allocation, doing a budget analysis, and drawing support from the community. The current contract is very, and it expires soon, so we will need to act now. We cannot continue to lose more lines and resources, and we must improve our working conditions. I will work tirelessly to regain these losses, and I will be accountable to you. Thank you.
Vondora, you're muted.
Okay, and next we have Darren.
Okay, thank you to Vondora and the NCCFT Elections Committee for their efforts to make this and all of these forums possible. Thank you to Alex and the NCCFT Tellers Committee for their facilitation of these elections. Thank you to Audrey Silverman, the NCCFT Office Manager, for everything she does. And a special thank you to our past and present NCCFT officers who have built the foundation and contract upon which we stand together today, and for navigating the waters we all tread, especially lately amidst a global pandemic. Hi everybody, my name is Darren Petronella, and I'm a proud NCCFT non-classroom faculty member at the full professor academic rank in the Student Personnel Services Department. I work primarily in the Career Development Service area in SPS as a career and transfer counselor, which also includes academic advising, workshop and event planning and presentations, and classroom teaching. I am also a proud NCCFT member with extensive union leadership experiences. As a dedicated faculty member and counselor entering my 20th year of service at NCC, I have demonstrated academic, union, and student-centered leadership throughout our beautiful and dynamic campus. My college-wide service includes 6 years of academic senate leadership as first vice chair, in addition to 16 years as an elected department senator representing SPS. My other college-wide leadership experiences include serving as the chair of the Planning Committee, chair of the Substance Awareness Committee, co-creator and co-founder of the First Year Experience Committee, in addition to serving as an active member of many others, including the Scholarships Committee and the CWCC, Appointments, Teller, and Elections, of which I'm currently serving. Additionally, I've served on search committees, middle states, working groups, and most recently as Nassau Community College's Study Abroad Coordinator for the past 3 years. My comprehensive SPS department service also attests to the levels of identity and understanding I have for our faculty, including over 10 years as a duly elected voting member of P&B, virtually all the department committees, including assessment, curriculum, which I'm currently chair, public relations, tellers, in-service. I've created and developed several courses. I've taught in learning communities. I've co-authored a course textbook, developed online courses, and provided instruction and support for colleagues. My candidacy's platform is centered on now and the future, and the tenets of trust, support, and advocacy for all of our members. These tenets are both essential core concepts and interconnected approaches toward effective union leadership, of which I value and demonstrate in everything I do. I approach matters with sensitivity, care, empathy, and support. My good rapport with others and collaborative mindset and effective working relationships with campus leaders, administrators, faculty, and staff empower me to utilize the relationship capital I've developed to communicate and promote the value and worth of what we all do for our students, for each other, and the comprehensive mission of the college. Thank you.
Thank you, Darren. And now we go to Dawn. Ah, there you go.
Thanks. Good evening, everyone. I don't know, afternoon, evening, it's that in-between time. But I'd also like to thank everyone, the elections committee, the tellers committee, for all the time and effort they put into arranging all of these forums. I know how difficult it was to try to get everyone together. Well, hopefully you know who I am. Dawn Smith. I'm the current NCCFT Vice President of Non-Classroom and Professional Faculty. I'm here today to ask you to re-elect me. A little history. I've been in the position of Vice President, Non-Classroom and Professional Faculty for the past 6 years. I work in Student Personnel Services, coordinating testing in the Center for Students with Disabilities as a TA. My service to the NCCFT began when I was elected by my department to serve as representative on the NCCFT Executive Board. I then also joined the NCCFT PAC, which is a political action committee. I was asked after about a year to chair that committee, and I did it proudly. Knowing the importance of protecting the rights and privileges guaranteed in our wonderful contract, I ran and was elected Vice President of Non-Classroom and Professional Faculty, beginning my term in June of 2015. Serving as your Vice President has been an honor and a privilege, and I'm hoping I can continue. Being part of the NCC Executive Committee requires a deep commitment, spending countless hours each week, weekends, and summers working on member issues and contractual issues. I have just finished negotiating my second contract for us. We worked countless hours to fight for a fair contract for you, our members. Despite being in the middle of a pandemic, declining enrollment, and state budgetary cuts, we were able to bring you a fair contract with no cuts to our benefits, continued no-cost health care, and a salary increase. We fought to protect all faculty lines, to secure academic senate reassigned time, and retain the seminar hours for our English department. I have helped through some difficult times, votes of no confidences, informal picketing, middle states accreditation issues, and now a pandemic. It's about action and facts that matter. I believe in feet on the ground. If elected, I will continue to work to ensure the terms and conditions of our contract are met and that the NCCFT members' concerns are voiced. I know that I'm the best candidate for the job. If re-elected, I promise to continue to work for you diligently on behalf of all the faculty. I would be honored to continue to serve you as the Vice President of Non-Classroom and Professional Faculty. Thank you.
Okay, now we're moving on to question number 1. What are your qualifications to lead the NCCFT? And we'll start with Judy.
I have served as a peer evaluator for the Middle States Commission of Higher Education since 2014. Have participated on various self-study team visits, and I will continue to serve in this role. I have served as the president and the program coordinator of the Women's Faculty Association an organization that promotes and supports women's issues and provides student scholarships. I have served as a board member and a co-chair of the Engagement Academy, affiliated with the Campus Compact, an organization dedicated to civic and community engagement at post-secondary institutions. I served as a senator for Academic Senate, served as a co-chair of Women's Resource Center, a committee devoted to bringing awareness to women's issues, and co-director of Nassau Community College Social Work, Health, and Human Services Network, served as an alternate of the NCCFT, and I am a membership chair of the American Association of University Professors at NCC. My experience as a peer evaluator for the Middle States Commission on Higher Education has provided me with the opportunity to serve the community and at peer institutions. My exchanges and sharing what other institutions are doing are all part of the learning experience. And being on these self-study teams, I have learned how to lead, collaborate with team members. Leadership in the union requires not only understanding sections of our contract, but must have a vast knowledge in many areas of institutional standards and policies. My experience has taught me that a union leader must be able to collaborate, listen, learn, and understand how decisions and policies impact all stakeholders from a wide perspective. And I believe that's what I bring to the table. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. And our next speaker will be Darren.
Okay. In addition to my departmental and Senate-based college-wide leadership experiences on campus, my union leadership experiences include 8 years as a duly elected NCCFT executive board member, 4 years as a duly elected member of the Promotion and Tenure Committee, including this past year as chair of the PNT. I'm actually staying on this semester as an advisory member as well. I'm a longtime member of the NCCFT Fringe Benefits Committee, and 4 years as a duly elected Adjunct Faculty Association Department Representative. I've also volunteered for the NCCFT Financial Review. I've always been a strong voice and a passionate advocate for college-wide for our union in both classroom and non-classroom matters. I'm a champion for equity and fairness in our working terms and conditions, in reassigned time for classroom and non-classroom faculty, and of course in a fair and strong NCCFT contract. I strongly believe in the continued acknowledgement and recognition of all faculty, including non-classroom and professional faculty with sustained academic status, value, and with full voice and participation in all areas of the college. Thank you.
Hey, thank you, Darren. And now we're moving on to Dawn.
Thank you. One of the most important qualifications is that I am, and have been since I was hired full-time at Nassau, an active member of the NCCFT. Coming from a union family, third generation, I know the importance of unions and being active. A union is strong when all its members are involved. The members are the union. I believe being a good union leader is more about your personal qualities. I am motivated, hardworking, and can stay calm in a stressful situation, which we have many of in the union office. I listen to all points of view, and I always try to bring those points of view together. I also believe I'm a leader who has a positive outlook, integrity, and vision. During my service to the NCCFT, I have attended many workshops and conferences to improve on the skills needed to accomplish the day in, day out work that goes on in the union. I have attended workshops on union leadership, negotiations, grievances, union finance, and political action strategies, just to name a few. I've also served as a senator, and I'm on the Senate DevEd committee, which allows me a first-hand seat of the issues affecting our members. Union work and actions are not only the big things, they constitute the day-to-day protections of the terms and conditions of our employment. I have accompanied members to administrator's office to ensure that the contractual rights are not violated when there's been a problem. I have met with members who believe they have a grievance, and I help them file that grievance when appropriate, or when there is no contractual violation, help them find another solution to the issue. These are some of the things that qualify me to be a leader. Thank you.
Okay, we'll move on to question number 2. Question number 2 says, since the world is rapidly changing and evolving, you can tell us about your recent union involvement and experience. Please speak to your specific accomplishments or training. Darren, why don't you go first this time?
Thank you. In addition to my NCCFT and AFA leadership experiences, I'm a non-classroom faculty member, a credentialed counselor with degrees in education, counseling, and psychology, a classroom instructor, a course developer, a licensed real estate agent and notary, and I also have a former life in the performing arts. So I have identity and empathy for both classroom and non-classroom and professional faculty. All of my professional and personal experiences have trained me in the necessary transferable skills to be an effective leader, specifically in counseling, service, planning, strategy, negotiation, and organizational vision. From all my experiences, I have developed effective communication, collaboration, and teamwork skills. I'm observant, focused, organized, resourceful, trustworthy, open-minded, and most importantly, empathic. I have a positive attitude, a creative energy, and a friendly personality with a healthy sense of humor and an accessible love of food, the arts, and travel. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Darren. Now, why don't we go to Dawn?
Thank you. One of my recent accomplishments, or I should say our accomplishments, since the executive committee works as a team, is negotiating our new 2-year contract. I believe with all the changing and evolving going on, it's important to have some stability in the NCCFT faculty, keeping the probationary and temp lines, as well as keeping no-cost health insurance was a priority. This was the second contract that I helped negotiate. One of my big concerns is always health and safety of our members. Before our members were due back to report on campus, I made arrangements to meet with Vice President Muscarella and members of his team to walk me through the Student Service Center and library so that I can ensure that all the proper protocols set forth by the CDC were met. He had also walked me through the center when it was first built, when there were some issues that members had brought to me. He explained the solutions he had for those concerns and allowed us to be the venue to speak out for our members. Since things are always changing, it's important to understand we don't exist in a bubble. We need to have allies outside of the college as well. I've been able to establish working relationships with the county executive, Laura currently, and the county legislators. This is important when we, our members, have an issue or concerns. For example, like hoping they'll ratify our contract. They not only know who we are, but they'll take my calls. I also lobby at the state level, meeting with members of the Assembly and Senate in Albany and on Long Island to ensure that these legislators understand the value of full-time faculty in general and the NCCFT members specifically. And we request their support on passing budgets and other things that would affect the faculty. Whenever I meet with a state or local leader, I constantly reinforce the value of full-time faculty at NCC. We have ED 39 meetings and community college conferences where we meet with our colleagues from other New York community colleges to share and find solutions to our common problems. I also meet with our brothers and sisters in the K through 12 through Educational District 19. All of these are a small part of my union involvement. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Dawn. And now Judy.
I have almost 20 years of union membership as a non-classroom faculty. We're all part of the same union, and our daily lives are impacted by our contract. Over the years, I've lived through continuous depletion of lines and resources, and I understand how contracts work because it impacts my everyday work. I know that it's much more than sending a general survey or just to say, hey, I completed a training. Leadership means going out there every day, connecting with members, listening to members' challenges, and problem solving. Who else do members turn to when they have problems? My experience as a peer evaluator for the Commission on Higher Education involves examining complex policies and standards, understanding how policy decisions impact the institution as a whole. Duties of the evaluator not only requires on-site visits, extensive training, but also interviewing faculty, students, board of trustees, college presidents, examining documents, and understanding college policies and determining if the institution meets accreditation. Without accreditation, you lose credibility in the institution. Therefore, I take my work very seriously as a peer evaluator, and I will lead with the same dedication and commitment to our members. I bring this leadership experience and skills to the table, and I will be accountable, honest, and be available to you every day. Thank you.
Thank you, Judy. Before we continue, someone signed in with a phone number. I'd really appreciate it if you would text your name, put your name in the chat so we know who you are, okay? All right, moving on to question number 3. Question 3 says, I would like the candidates to comment on the NCC bookstore, the rollout of the NCC All Access program, AKA books on the first day of school, and the number of students who have yet to receive them, and the practice of the bookstore charging one price for the books and materials one day and more than doubling that price a day later. What can be done about the current bookstore situation? Why don't we start with Dawn?
Thank you, Vondora. I believe most of the faculty and maybe most of the administrators would agree that the NCC Access was a failure. The purpose was to have books and materials on the first day of class with reduced costs for our students. And for many of the students, this did not happen. Not only was it a failure because the students didn't have the materials on the first day of class, but because the students weren't even, they were unaware that they wouldn't be hard copy textbooks, but digital. There was a total lack of transparency. There was trouble with the bookstore before the access, the NCC Access, with having materials. And this just exasperated the problem. I spoke to many of my students in CSD, and they're beside themselves trying to figure this out. These are some of the most neediest students, and it was such a disservice. I can tell you what we, the NCC Executive Committee, we spoke out against the rollout of this program at the very beginning when we learned about it during a meeting with VP of Finance, Julio Izquierdo. My first comment was it should be an opt-in, not an opt-out program, and that many of our students could not do a cost analysis to determine if it was the right plan for them. When we were told that the students would only be notified about the program on the bill, we insisted at the very least that the students receive an email, which they were. We continue to express our concern in our monthly meetings with President Williams and Vice President Lausch. In addition, we attended meetings with chairs, with bookstore manager, the academic VP, the VP of Finance, and the academic deans, where we expressed our concerns, and the concerns were also expressed by other members of leadership groups. I believe the pressure we and other campus leaders exerted was the reason students received an extension on the opt-out, as well as the administration taking another look at the program, hopefully with faculty input. We will continue to discuss the shortfalls of the program as well as the bookstore with the administration, not only because of the negative effect on the students, but on the faculty as well. It, in some cases, forced faculty to be developing new plans to take into consideration the number of students without books and proper materials. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Dawn. And again, we have question number 3. I'd like all candidates to comment on the NCC bookstore, the rollout.
I'm sorry, Vondora?
Yeah?
I didn't get to answer that. The bookstore question, I didn't answer it.
I know, I'm still doing the bookstore question. I'm just
so
repeating
sorry.
it.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I apologize.
Okay.
I apologize.
I would like all the candidates to comment on the NCC bookstore, the rollout, and of the NCC All Access program, AKA books on the first day of school, the number of students who have yet to receive them, and the practice of the bookstore charging one price for the books and materials one day and more than doubling it a day later. What can be done about the bookstore? Okay, Judy, go ahead.
Thank you. I believe the bookstore situation is really about lack of communication, collaboration, and lack of planning. Without faculty voice, student input, and consultation through the academic senate, the bookstore chaos could have been avoided with clear communication and input from all parties. And coming from a student services person, I have to say the opt-out policy benefits the bookstore, and it is more of a business model rather than a student-centered approach. We need to think about how we can make things easier and less costly for students. When students get frustrated, we lose them, which means loss of revenue and retention. One of the ways we can resolve this is to opt in instead of opt out to avoid the recent chaos. I also think that we need to get students' feedback as well. Additionally, the bookstore should not dictate the modality of the textbook, and it requires collaboration, communication amongst all parties. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Judy. And now we have Darren, and you're responding to the same question. I'd like all, oh, do you need me to read it?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
As others have said, it's truly disappointing, frustrating, and quite frankly, inexcusable for our students who have had to endure this bookstore access program, which of course was largely inaccessible and disrespectful to them and to our faculty. And quite honestly, it was just a money grab, and it was completely selfish and poorly timed, of course. I dissent with the administration's current strategy to continue the opt-out model for the spring 2021 semester, even despite their own expressions of disappointment and displeasure. I support an opt-in option only so that students can make their own personal and informed decision as to whether this access program would benefit them. I agree with the Academic Senate Chair, Anissa Moore, and the Academic Senate Executive Committee's call for the administration to terminate the existing contract with Follett. I had asked at this week's Academic Senate meeting about the current terms and conditions of the current contract in place, and we are awaiting this information. I also support the full restoration of the Campus Services Committee to give our faculty and shared governance process a fuller, more comprehensive and recognized voice to address the bookstore needs of the college, of course, of our students and faculty, as well as other vital campus services for our students, such as food services. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Darren. Now we're moving on to question 4. Question 4 says, how do we restore the Academic Senate's participation in major policy decisions? And why don't we start this with Judy?
Okay, we need to ensure reassign time to Academic Senate officers and the CWCC chair so that they can carry out their demanding responsibilities. We also need to make sure the Academic Senate can carry out the duties as outlined in the section 605.1 of the state education regulations and in section 20 of our contract. The role of the union is to ensure that the Academic Senate can perform their duties. And they also must be able to advocate for faculty, and that we have a voice in major policy decisions. We need to recognize, however, that the union and the Academic Senate have different roles, and we have to be careful not to overstep those lines. However, the union needs to assist the Senate in moving forward with these duties, and they can help by enforcing the contract to restore Academic Senate's participations in policy decisions. One of the ways the union can help is to make sure that there are no sunset language in the contract about the reassigned time, the duration of Academic Senate executive positions. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Judy. Let's move on. This time, Darren, could you respond to the same question? Do you need me to read it for you?
No, I think I'm good. Thank you.
Okay.
I think the Academic Senate does have participation in major policy decisions, including curriculum, academic calendar, standing, student enrollment, student engagement, and in other ways. The Academic Senate Executive Committee meets regularly with the president and cabinet members to participate in most major campus issues and initiatives. I agree with Judy that reassigned time is important to give that respect and dedication to those initiatives. But ultimately, it comes down to relationship building, to trust, to support, to advocacy from the NCCFT leadership and with the NCC administration. I will work to facilitate even better communication and to develop trust and mutual agreement and compromise if needed. Thank you.
Okay, Dawn, same question.
Thank you. With all due respect to the question, I, as Darren said, believe that the Academic Senate does participate in major academic policy decisions. Although this is only my second year as a senator, I've been present during some lively discussions on the Senate floor discussing policy issues. I have every confidence in the Academic Senate Executive Committee. They're doing a great job. I know they meet regularly with Dr. Williams and his cabinet to discuss academic issues that have come up. At the last Senate meeting, Chair Moore spoke about the ASAC discussing dual enrollment and guided pathways with him. One of the roles of the NCCFT is to support the Academic Senate. As my two colleagues just said, Section 20 of the contract, of our NCCFT contract, states that the Academic Senate has responsibilities and powers to formulate and propose policies on class size, academic advisement, to examine and improve, recommend curricula, and many other things. But notice it says recommend, propose, not dictate. The NCCF Executive Committee will continue to support the Senate, working together with the ASAC to carry the Senate's water when requested to the administration. As I believe Judy said, we don't want to step on toes. We're three different leadership groups: the chairs, the Senate, and then the NCC Executive Committee for the full-time faculty. It's important that all these leadership groups work together for the advancement of all our members and their students. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Let's move on to question number 5. How would you, I'm sorry, and number 5, this is Darren. How would you handle the temporary lines as well as keep all the probationary lines on campus?
Thank you for the question. So much of the college's great work is achieved by our NCCFT faculty. We have suffered great losses to full-time lines, and we need to work and fight for more investment in our faculty. Our full-time faculty provide enhanced student support through office hours, extra help, as well as participate in our governance process through curriculum development, student life and engagement initiatives, special projects, grant work, and so much more. I believe that we can do even more to demonstrate and convey the value of each and every NCCFT member, especially those on vulnerable probationary and temporary lines. We need to show through our department leadership, faculty mentorship, and NCCFT leaders advocacy quantifiable data and outcomes of each faculty member's accomplishments and contributions to illustrate the tremendous value added to the service to the lives of students, to their department, to the college, and to the community at large. For example, reporting numbers and testimonials from students served, how they were engaged, how they were taught, how they benefited from that faculty member's interaction or intervention, and what happened with that student. Did they persist? Did they improve academically, socially, emotionally? Did they retain and re-enroll for the following semester and or accomplish their own educational, professional, and or personal goals? We can leverage that information and data to advocate for the retention of these faculty members who have immeasurable worth to the institution. Thank you.
Thanks. Dawn, could you respond to the same question, please?
Sure, thank you. I'd like to start by saying they're not just lines to me. They're our colleagues, people we know and work with, people with families and children, people we fight for and continue to fight for. Through negotiations, we were able to keep all our probationary lines and 80% of our temporary lines this year. We had a difficult decision to accept only the 80% of the temporary lines or walk away and risk losing all of them. Negotiations are always tough, but we had to consider the other probationary and temp lines. As an executive committee, we continually remind the administration the value of full-time faculty, not just during negotiations, but each month when we meet with the cabinet. We emphasize that it is full-time faculty that participate in our shared governance structure by serving on department and college-run positions, as well as leadership positions on campus. We stress that it is full-time faculty that facilitate most of the clubs and extracurricular activities on campus, and full-time faculty that provide office hours, mentoring, and advisement for our students. We remind the administration that studies have shown student involvement in activities outside their classes and faculty mentoring is what helps retain students. We also remind the legislators when we meet that it's full-time faculty and that they need to give the college the budget so that they can retain good full-time faculty. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. We're up to Judy now. Could you respond to the same question, please?
Since temp and probationary lines are in our contract right now are not protected, we need to be much more proactive from day one. We cannot wait till the last minute, but instead we need to prepare a justification for keeping these lines when union meets with administration from day one. First, we must make sure the administration meets the required date of renewals and that they are not violating this. Second, we need to prepare an argument and present data that these positions are much needed. We need to do a budget review, do a cost analysis in each department, demonstrating the needs of these lines. The union can meet with individual departments to come up with a plan of action. Third, we need to do a review of resource allocation to build a case that these lines are important to our college and students. Once we have an idea of the budget and resource allocation, we argue that these lines play a significant part in helping the college, students, and the community. Lastly, we can advocate for community involvement, support from the community to keep these lines. I believe Achilles and Inspires programs are a good example of how community support successfully restored this valuable program. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Moving on to question number 6, and this will be started by Dawn. What is the biggest challenge facing non-classroom faculty? If you're elected, what plans do you have to face this challenge?
Thank you.
Okay, Dawn?
Thank you. This is a difficult question since one size doesn't fit all. When you speak of non-classroom and professional faculty, you're speaking of many different jobs and titles. We have TAs, technologists, counselors, advisors, assistant registrars. There's many people that fit into this category. There are also many areas. SPS, where the 3 of us work, IT, registrar, bursar, advisement, the academic areas. But trying to come up with 1 or 2 things, I think if you asked most non-classroom and professional faculty now what their biggest challenge is, I believe it would be similar to most of our classroom colleagues, trying to do our jobs through the pandemic. Most jobs are difficult to accomplish remotely, often taking twice as long or longer with our limited resources and time. For those who have come onto campus some days to work, they have the added stress of worrying about health and safety. As a vice president of non-classroom and professional faculty, I do and will and continue to do advocate for the resources that our members need to do their job. We have made requests to the college to lend laptops and other equipment so that our members can do their job. If elected, I will continue to advocate for resources and adequate staffing and for the health and safety. Another important challenge is the lack of a clear promotional path for Ps and Ts. We need to create a normal promotional path to P5. Currently, to become a P5, you need to go through an outside search. We also need to add a T4 promotion. Currently, our technologist scales ends at T3. We have successfully made a step in that direction. We were able to negotiate getting the administration to agree to create a committee to establish promotional protocols for promotion of professional faculty from T3 to T4 and P4 to P5. I've been asked to co-chair the committee with an administrator appointed by the president. The committee will have two more members from the NCCFT and 2 more members of the administration. Some members feel that there's inequity between classroom and non-classroom faculty. I will continue to work to change that stigma. As a last thought, There is a lack of appreciation and invisibility, if you would, of the non-classroom and professional faculty. The current NCCFT Executive Committee has started to try to change this perception in a small way. We've emailed our membership publicly, commending them for all the hard work they do over the summer.
Time is up, sorry.
Okay. Judy, can you answer the same question, please? Which
Sure.
go?
One of the biggest challenges is that we are under-resourced and overworked. Our workload is increasing with limited resources. We lost a third of our faculty, as I mentioned earlier, and my department, SPS, Don represents, alone has been depleted 50% of our full-time lines. We're dealing with time logs, doing work that is outside of our contractual obligations as more resources are depleted. I believe that all faculty will be impacted by the continuous micromanagement of our jobs. This undermines us as professionals and leaves us vulnerable to administration. I have some ideas. I will approach these challenges with a proactive plan because I love plans. First, we need to stop giving away more resources and lines without getting an agreement of replacement of these lines from the administration. Second, I will draw clear boundaries to define reasonable workload expectations and enforce student ratio in the contract so that we can manage our workload and serve students efficiently and productively. Third, I will help clarify, identify areas where contractual obligations have been overstepped, and I will end such practices by enforcing the contract. Fourth, we will need to review the NCCFT budget and reassess if there are better use of our union dues to confront our challenges ahead. One of the ways is for the union to consult or hire our own attorney to represent us during negotiation. We need this more than ever. College hires their own attorney. And I like to ask, why does the union not do the same? Thank you.
Okay, great. Darren, can you
Okay.
answer the question, please?
Yes, thank you. And thank you to Dawn and Judy for your answers. I actually agree with everything both of you just said, but I think that it goes beyond that. Of course, I agree that our non-classroom and professional faculty are under-resourced and overworked, and that we need clearer paths for promotion to higher levels for the P's and the T's, and there are some inequities in the visibility factor. But I think, honestly, the biggest challenge facing non-classroom professional faculty and even some classroom faculty is multifaceted. We sometimes experience lower morale due to the treatment and the view by the administration that we are sometimes interchangeable or perhaps somehow expendable. We, the non-classroom and professional faculty, are constantly charged with educating the campus at large, especially administrators, about what we do, how we do it, why we do it, and what value it brings to NCC students and the college's operations. Sometimes we can feel a threat to our expertise, our experience, our skill sets, our contributions, and even our faculty status in the NCCFT. And sometimes some non-classroom or professional faculty feel that they are not really able to trust, be heard, or ultimately feel valued. I speak from a place of personal empathy, identity, and previous experiences with vulnerability and being targeted. If elected, I would work to improve that morale and sense of mistrust through my sincere and empathic approach in reaching out, especially to non-classroom and professional faculty, having individual and group meetings to listen, connect, support, develop trust, advocate for their position, their value, their suggestions, causes, or issues. This is what inspires and motivates me to run for this position. I will be a trusted ally for all non-classroom and professional faculty, and of course, for all NCCFT faculty. Thank you.
Thank you, Darren. And this is good because you are the first person to do your 2-minute summary. So have at it. Uh-oh.
I think I accidentally muted myself. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, sorry. Once again, thank you to Vondora and everybody involved. Thank you to Dawn and to Judy. And I just want to reiterate to everyone, again, to emphasize that my platform is centered on trust, support, and advocacy for all our members. I believe these tenets to be the bridges toward building and enhancing morale for all of our NCCFT faculty and for bringing college constituencies together. I will work tirelessly to facilitate better communications by asking questions, having fuller, honest, genuine, and productive and concrete conversations both within our membership and externally. I have and will continue to advocate toward future changes in the NCCFT contract and to improve working conditions for everyone. I will always act in good faith. And for those of you who've worked with me, you know that that's true. This is an unparalleled time for NCC and for our NCCFT faculty. We need to promote ourselves to the rest of the college and to the community. We are a union because we choose to unite and stand together. We need trust, support, and to advocate for ourselves, for each other, and for our union together. I am confident and qualified in my ability to lead, to work collaboratively, advocate, support, and empower us into the next chapter of our collective union legacy. I would be proud to serve you on the NCCFT Executive Committee. I thank you all for being here today. I thank you for your trust. I thank you for your advocacy. And of course, I thank you for your support. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Darren. Judy, are you ready for your 2-minute summation?
Sure. Thank you, Vondora. You're doing a great job, and also Alex. I want to thank the members and the election committee for giving me this opportunity to speak to you. We're at a crossroads in choosing the direction of our future. Do we want more of the same losses? Or do we want a team who has a plan, concrete strategies to strengthen our contract? We have a very short contract, and we need to secure our future now. If elected, I will listen, find solutions, and I promise to be honest, accountable, and transparent, and I will get results. I am asking for your vote in October. While you can vote for us individually and no one is forcing you, I encourage you to vote for the slate because we are a team who share the same vision, and that is to grow our membership and to protect our faculty. We bring years of experience and have strategies in place to face challenges ahead. More importantly, we really care about our members and the college. Our slate includes Baron Seminoff, who is a highly skilled contract attorney, David Stern, who saved $65 million and understands budget, Valerie Lagakis, a community advocate who saved our programs, and Suzanne Kabanek is knowledgeable and understands the needs of all faculty. I am enthusiastic about working with our NCCFT members, but I on the slate ask the members to give us a chance to work. Thank you so much for your time, and I hope we can count on your vote. Should you have further questions, please visit our website. We're also holding a Zoom meeting on October 2nd at 5 p.m. We hope to see you there. Thank you very much.
Okay, and the last person to sum up is Dawn.
Thank you. I'm going to be short. Thank you for taking the time to attend this forum, and thanks again to our tellers and our election committee. We need people in leadership roles who are positive, who work collectively and bring the faculty together, not divide them. We are stronger together. There's a lot of work to be done. I'm honored to stand in unity with you and do that work. I want you to know if you re-elect me, I will continue to fight for you and our contract, both on campus and off campus. There's a lot more work to be done. I will continue to be boots on the ground. I will be there when you call, and I will work with you to get it done. I hope you will re-elect me as Vice President of Non-Classroom and Professional Faculty for the NCCFT. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, everyone. That was really great. Our next forum is tomorrow at 3 o'clock, I think. Hold on. I'll make sure I give you the right time.
Yes, 3 o'clock.
At 3 o'clock, and that will be Darren and Donna giving us information about why they want to run for president. So I'll see you all at the next meeting tomorrow. Have a good evening. Good night.
Thank you very much.